Now, there is no doubt about it that we have witnessed this major shift within the film industry, within the Hollywood bubble, if you will, from many different studios, whether it's Disney or Universal or Warner Brothers. Some are making some promises that most likely are not going to be fully done. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens, but some studios are promising to ditch DEI departments, to just ditch DEI altogether, everything to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion, the ongoing ideology, the agenda, if you will, that has been shoehorned into many different franchises out there, into many different brands, and it's not just catered to film, it's also catered to television programs and even music, and there's a lot of things going on there. However, when it involves Will Smith, there's a lot of drama surrounding this guy, surrounding this actor that's been really going on for the past couple of weeks now when it comes to Men in Black 5, when it comes to Bad Boys 5 for Sony, and we have a lot to discuss of what he had to say about his view of DEI. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Will Smith is that we all know that he lost millions upon millions of fans back in 2022 with the Oscars slap situation toward Chris Rock. We all know what happened there. And Jada Pinkett Smith didn't help either. She said a lot of insufferable things out there about herself, about her view on Will Smith that didn't help the whole situation at all as well. And, well, Will Smith is only creating more damage for himself based on how he actually views the whole DEI subject and everything to do with that overall agenda. Let's jump into this, shall we? Now, specifically, we already know that Will Smith is really going through a lot of issues with Sony and how he's going through all of these different negotiations for Men in Black 5, for Bad Boys 5. We have a lot to talk about there later down the road. But with those like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, who gained much criticism over the years for various reasons, one major development going on now involves a rant that was recently provided by Will Smith that involved his wife Jada and the subject of the country withdrawing from DEI. Will delivered the following. As an actor, you start to notice shifts in society and how people are entertained. And as an actor, you have to understand human emotion. But what I find to be so difficult to understand are those that have issues with diversity, equity, and inclusion. I took it very personally when so many were questioning Jada on her beliefs and just how important DEI really is in this industry to her. I am a full supporter of DEI, and the greatest threat that we are dealing with today in this country are those out there that are expressing their issues and their way of opposing something like that is so valuable, not just in film, but also television and music. We need to finally accept the truth that DEI is what creates fairness and balance in the film industry that I am so proud to be a part of, and I completely reject those that were opposed to Jada's support on DEI. The problem that we are dealing with right now is this new presidency that sends out this messaging, making it as if diversity, equity, and inclusion is part of some kind of hidden agenda with an ulterior motive at hand behind it all. That is so far from the truth and so ludicrous to even think about, and that's what they all want you to believe. I will make it my duty to take part in projects moving forward that only represent and support DEI at full force, because that's what I believe in, that's what Jada believes in, and dare anyone that tries to change our minds, because this is what American citizens need to be aware of, is that there are a lot of false narratives out there about our beloved industry that provides so much entertainment to the people, to escape and enjoy themselves in the theater. As an actor that believes in fairness and balance, without DEI, you don't have that. You don't have fairness and balance. And it's a growing challenge that we are dealing with today, and so many corporations are becoming frightened of embracing that. Many studios are getting very frightened about all of that. I think it's important that all of us don't fall for the loud vocal minority that share their inflammatory opinions about diversity. They like to say that this is an agenda. Anyone who believes something like that really needs to look up the definition of diversity and just realize how misguided and uninformed they really sound when they don't understand what DEI is and that DEI helps communities all together. So guys, let me just stop here for one moment about what Will Smith is spewing again. Now look, he's obviously standing up for Jada Pinkett Smith again in a very cowardly way, I must add. It really seems like he always bounces back and forth with her support. But what's interesting about this, yet again, is the fact that you have more and more actors going on the whole DEI trope, and it's growing very tiresome at this point. I think that people are just so exhausted about this whole argument to the point that nobody really cares anymore about Hollywood. In fact, Hollywood has lost so many audiences to the point that people don't even care if they make a major turnaround. People are just tired of movies in general that just repeat the same nonsense over and over, artistically speaking, or even creatively speaking. You know, there's a lot of things that have been done over and over, whether it's sequels, remakes, reboots, you know, all of that nonsense. People are just tired of that. And so that's why you're also having a lot of these studios really turning the page on DEI. Whether or not they're going to keep up with that promise, that's a big mystery. I would say that more than half of the studios that say that's a promise that they're making, it won't be actually, you know, something that comes to fruition. We'll have to wait and see on that. But overall, Will Smith, again, really dragging Jada Pinkett Smith into the argument again, and how he really went as far to say, like, dare anybody that questions our beliefs in DEI, and how he wants nothing to do with fans of his own that are opposed to that overall agenda that has been, you know, driven by studios like Disney, Warner Brothers, and many others out there, like HBO, for example. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? So this is also, I think, a lot of bitterness coming from Will Smith after all the drama going on over at Sony. You guys may or may not know about this, but he's not getting the exact amount, the exact payout that he wanted for Men in Black 5. He was supposed to get an upwards amount of $100 million for Men in Black 5, very similar to what he was paid for Men in Black 3. And they only want to pay him now $75 million flat. He's not having it with that, and it's really ridiculous that you're having such a temper tantrum over $75 million instead of $100 million. It really makes no sense to me. I think that's where a lot of this bitterness is coming from, is that Sony is beginning to turn the page also on DEI, and I think that Will Smith is taking all of that out on the public at this point. That's what it really sounds like to me, at least. But moving on forward, he goes on to conclude, it helps this business most certainly to create the best stories possible for the public to enjoy movies and television programs. So I won't put up with anyone's nonsense that reject Jada's beliefs as well as mine, because we sure as hell know what's important for this industry, something that needs to be educated to so many that are not informed about the importance of all of this. It's about time that we all became more vocal about these ongoing challenges that threaten our great industry for film. So again, you have Will Smith, you have Jada Pinkett Smith, who have expressed their concerns about the country withdrawing from DEI, and quite frankly, the entire world is beginning to actually ditch DEI departments altogether, whether it's film, music, video games, television. I mean, it's all over at this point. And you're going to see this slow turn, right? This slow transition where DEI just diminishes and the whole wokeness begins to actually just vanish into thin air. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, like I said earlier, to really gain the trust of so many lost fans of many different brands, franchises out there, and whatever was destroyed a couple of years ago. Great examples like Star Wars, Marvel, etc., etc. They even tried to do this with Harry Potter with the upcoming TV show by HBO. We'll have a lot more to talk about that as well. Interestingly enough, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about that below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.